Hello and welcome again to the Friday Wrap for Friday, January 13th, our second one of the year. The board meeting this week was had a pretty full agenda. Everything, of course, on the consent agenda was approved right away, but we had 4 or 5 topics to cover. First off, we approved the driveway gate for the house on Madison Street, as we mentioned before, to have it match the house next door, but more importantly, for the protection of one of the children in there, following the ADA rules. The board voted unanimously for that. Also, the RIC medical office was approved, pending, of course, their final plans, but the board did approve it, so that's moving ahead as well. Hopefully, the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago will be starting to get some real progress in the coming months. Also, the 89th Street annexation went through. That went on for probably a year and a half, probably 2 years in discussion. When initially we wanted to annex it, to force annex it, and then we decided to wait till we had a lot more agreement amongst the neighbors, and we agreed to wait a year and a half to make that happen. But that was finalized on Monday night as well. Also, the longest discussion was the driveway on 81st Street. Apparently, it covers a larger percentage of the back part of the house. Even though that was the case, that was approved above the normal 30% because it's a very unique piece of property, and because of the benefit of permeable bricks. Which are also going to be probably a future discussion on the Plan Commission as to how they're treated in the village for the benefit of the builders and, of course, the residents. Also, the 2017 road program was also approved. David Preissig, our Public Works Director, made that presentation, and that plan was also approved. That was excellent. So this week we also had a scavenger meeting. It's actually a meeting of a scavenger committee to explore the possibility of having one uniform garbage collection service. They've gone through months of exploring, and now they're just finally going to getting actual request for proposal as far as pricing. That's the last step before the real debates begin. But that's also being discussion this year. Also, a little oil spill. Speaking of which, the oil spill update. We had Groot garbage truck that blew a hydraulic line on my street, spread oil down probably 100 yards worth. They actually cleared that up this week. That was nice to see. And also, it was nice to see the house on County Line Road, right just south of 79th Street. It was torn down this week. It took a long time to get done, but that finally also got done. This week, on a personal note, I will be out of town for a large part of next week, attending the presidential inauguration in Washington, D.C., something I've always wanted to do and finally had a chance and opportunity to do so. We even had an interview on ABC TV this week of those Illinoisans that are going to the inauguration for them to talk to both before as well as while we're there. I'm pretty excited about that. You're probably wondering where I'm standing right now. This is always that's part of the drama, right? Well, I'd like to introduce you to the owner of a new company here called First Family Dental and Orthodontics. This is Mr. Ghassan Aboud. Ghassan?
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, Mickey. Very well. How are you? Thank you for
Nice to
doing
see
the Friday Wraps from this location. Actually, we just opened this location on Monday. We are a resident of Burr Ridge, and we own a company called First Family Dental and Orthodontic. We have 15 locations throughout the city. And being a Burr Ridge resident, we decided to bring our finest to the city of Burr Ridge. So we opened on this last Monday in 410 Village Center Drive. You probably won't miss us. We're right on the corner. If you see that bright light in the waiting room, that's us. We have opened a beautiful facility. You're welcome for anybody to come and tour around the facility.
I'd like to have a little fan over here. If you step over here a second, get a better feel for the entire waiting room. Right over to the windows, you'll see it's absolutely gorgeous. It reminds you more of a hotel lobby, I think.
Well, being in a dental office is stressful enough, so we want to make it as comfortable as possible for the patient to come in. So they come in, it's very relaxing, and we promise to bring the finest specialist and the finest product to the city we live in or the village we live in, and we are dedicated to serve the village and the neighborhood villages around Burr Ridge with the finest quality of dentistry, and that's something we will stand behind as long as we are here.
Great.
So
Well,
thank you.
And I'm going to quick view over here. Go over to the other side, more toward actually Burr Ridge Parkway. There's actually nine. What do you call them, Gazan?
Operators.
Operators. Operators.
Yeah,
Close enough.
Rooms.
Okay. Well, there's 9 rooms back there. It shows how technical I am. But they're pretty amazing too. You actually look at the pictures on the bottom of the Friday wrap to get a better picture. But this is certainly a first-class facility. And as Ghassan Aboud, Dr. Ghassan Aboud said, that was one of his goals for Burr Ridge. This is Mayor Mickey, and that's a Friday wrap.